Jeff and I, Jeff is here. He's out in the sun panning right now. But I don't know how this is going to work today because I'm like in the noisiest place. The river's really roaring right next to me. But we've been here for a good half hour, 45 minutes, and I've just been hiking around, and this spot is the best looking spot I can find. Now over here where Jeff is, we have a solid bedrock wall going up. And you'll notice we have all kinds of brush in here. Now if you look at the brush, it has had a rough life. Now you can tell by just everything, the damage, how all the brush is laid over. It's pretty obvious that this area gets a considerable amount of flow, but not enough flow to wash everything out. Now I'm sure in a big flood, the 100-year flood, this is all gone, otherwise there would be big trees here. Now, when you're looking at the gravel, this area right here this down here has been washed by the flow, then the gravel humps up, then it goes back into the river. And you can see how we got a line of boulders along here. All along this area, we have nice big boulders. But a lot of these boulders are large round boulders just sitting on top. Now if you look down in this area, these boulders are all laying down. You can actually see, like right in here, this one here, you can see how the river, which direction the river is flowing by the way the boulders are laying. Now when you have the round boulders just sitting on top, that means that those have sat there for a while and the gravel is being washed away from them. Now down here where you have them laid down, this area is getting the impact from those boulders as they go downstream. So what's washing out of that area has to cross this area, and these rocks that are laid down and beat flat, well, that gold that's being displaced up there that travels over this area will get caught behind and under these boulders. Now, right where I'm sitting is a really good looking spot, and this is where we're going to start. And right there, Jeff's first pan. Now he's already claiming first gold, but his first gold was so small he had to put his glasses on to see it. So I'm saying it might be first gold, but it don't count. Now right here, this is bedrock, and it's heading out this way. The bedrock, now this is not good bedrock. This type of bedrock breaks really easy, but even though these edges break, they are rounded, they're not sharp, which means this gets flow. That's the only way you're going to get these rounded is by gravel washing over it. So we know that this bedrock has had flow. Now, what I want to do is go out in the river more, which is towards the camera, to this gravel. Now, this gravel is all laid in, it's all packed. It's behind. If you go upstream, there's rocks all laid in a row, all stacked up against this rock. So we have fast water right here, slower water right here. This right here to me looks good. So we're going to dig a little bit of this gravel out, and the key is it packed? If it's packed, we're going to find gold. If it's not, we're going to find some specks. We're going to find plug gold. I'm hoping for packed gravel. Okay, the first thing we want to do, check the gravel for tightness. I can't make it wiggle, so that's good. Okay. Now we want to just get a feel for what the gravel's like, the size of the bed, the black sand, and how tight it's packed. So basically we're just going to scrape the rocks off the top. We're going to get rid of all that. But I want to go in here and get this gravel, and it's pretty darn tight. So that's good. And we're just going to get the gravel, the material that's come down this large rock underneath that other rock. And we just want to put everything in the pan, even the larger rocks, because all we're doing with the first pan is just getting an idea of how much flow we have. And the only way we're going to know that is by the gravel and what's going on. Now, everything that's going on tells us we got good flow, but the proof is in the gravel. Now, this gravel I'm digging is packed really tight. We have a combination of rocks, nice round rocks. We got a good amount of sand. We got a really good combination of everything from nice hand-sized rocks down to sand. Not too much of any one. A good combination of all. Now, not much material, but then again, this is just to look at what we're working with. What we're looking at here is we've got some really nice, heavy, dark rocks. All the gravel is heavy looking, but more importantly, if you look, the whole background color of the gravel is darker. And that tells you that there's a fair amount of black sand in that, because right now it's spread all over. I haven't settled it much because I want to look at the overall gravel. But to me, the gravel looks good. You can see here we got a few pieces of gold, but more importantly, we got that nice chunky black sand we're looking for. Okay, well, I'm going to snuffer this up because pressure's on. Just came over, showed me. He finally got a real piece of gold. Let me show you. Nice chunky little piece of gold. Now this time, we're just going to rake the rocks off because we've already looked at the rocks. We know that the gravel looks good, so we're no longer interested in the rocks. It's just everything the size that's going to carry the gold and smaller. That's what we're after now. It's just a matter of moving gravel, panning gravel, because when you're working on a gravel bar with no bedrock, quantity wins the game. And the other thing you have to consider is, over the years, countless times, when you're finding gold, especially when you're working in the gravel, you hit pockets. It's not consistent. You can find very little gravel or very little gold, and you will hit a pocket of gold. For some reason or other, something's going on in the river that's depositing gold in that particular spot, and then, a foot away, you'll find another pocket. It's done it to me over the years of dredging, done it panning, sluicing. It's just, the way the river works. I've yet to figure out how to find the pockets other than a lot of panning. But the best bet, you start in gravel you know's got gold. We got gravel and we know it's got gold. So let's move some gravel. Even though I know this is a rock, I'm calling this bedrock. It's a false bedrock. But this rock has been here for a long time, because I can tell by the way things are stacked, and it's behind a tree that's been there for quite a while. So right now, we're going to call this bedrock until we get to real bedrock. So we're going to follow this down until something happens, till the gravel changes, we hit bedrock. We'll just follow this. Periodically, we'll take a sample of the layers. If the layer changes, you take a sample. Because a lot of times you'll find a lot of gold on top, and then you'll get below that to an old flood layer that won't have anything in it, and then you got to get through that before you get back to another working, that used to be a working layer of gravel that'll have gold in it. So anytime the gravel changes, you want to take a test pan. Okay, we got pan number 2. Now I'm not going to bore you guys with each individual pan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clip a little brush, find me a little calmer place to pan, and I'm just going to go through this gravel as fast as I can until something changes. Either we quit finding gold, we find more gold, or the gravel changes. So I'm just going to move material right now, and hopefully we get to a better layer. So what I've done is I've done 2 pans. I panned the first one down to where I could just look, and I had a few pieces of gold in there, better than the first one. Probably twice as many as the first pan. And then I dug down deeper, and I'm now digging down into a crevice in between the 2 boulders and did the second pan. This is pretty nice pan, but now this is a combination of the 2 pans. Let me show you. So you can see here, this is a pretty nice pan, and we still got a real coarse black sand. Okay, I'm going to snuffer this up, get back to digging. Well, I just finished 2 more pans. Same as last time, this is a combination of both pans. I didn't clean it out between pans. But we have a fairly nice piece in here. At least for, flood gold, it's a nice piece. Let me show you. Now, hopefully you can see here, there's a nice chunky little piece, and then there's a pretty good spread of gold in there. Now you can see this is dropping down in. This is a good sized rock here, and this is, the huge one. So this is acting like a crevice. Now, the trick is, once we get past a certain point, we're going to lose the gold. But right down here, just pull the rock, something really interesting showed up. Let me show you. Right here on this rock, we have rust. Now the reason the rust is important, it tells us there's a piece of iron down there, so even down in that low point, we still have working gravel. Otherwise that piece of iron couldn't have got down there. So that means we got, that much more gravel to pan out that could have some nice gold in it. Well, this is our last pan out of this hole because the hole's filling up with water. And as we know, it's almost impossible to get gold out of the water because it's on the bottom, and unless you can go under it to bring it out, all you do when you move the gravel, it just keeps going down. So I'm going to take this, pan it out. Now I'm guessing this pan's not going to have near as much because digging in the water, we're losing all the gold. So I'll be right back, see how we do. Well, hopefully you can see here, we got gold gold, but nowhere near as much. Well, this looks like a good time to break for lunch because I know it's way past lunchtime. Back from lunch, and I've done a couple of test pans. I found gold in every pan, but they've all been this fine plug gold. Nothing with any weight. Where we've been working has the best black sand and gold as far as, you know, the weight of the gold, the thickness of the gold. As I move out this spot, the black sand gets finer and the gold gets thinner. And even though we're finding, you know, plenty of pieces in each pan, you get that really flat, thin plug gold. It takes a bunch to make any weight. So I think we're just going to back up a little bit and take a look behind this next rock. Now this here's, you know, a pretty good sized rock, and it's still in line with these rocks we've been working, and we have some really packed gravel right here. So I think what we're going to try to do is get down. There's another really big rock that this brush is leaned over, and it's actually as big as that one. So what we're going to try to do is get down to what's been trapped under this one and between that one. Hopefully we can pull a little bit heavier gold out of this area. Two more pans I've done. I dug that area out. I'm finding gold, but it's all fine plug gold. As soon as I start finding the heavier stuff, I hit water. So, well, let me show you this pan real quick. You can see we got a line of gold all through here, but it's all pretty fine. I get down low, get down to where I get my coarse black sand back, and I start getting some heavier pieces. It fills up with water. I think I'm pretty much waterlogged here. So I'm going to pick everything up, call it a day. I'm going to go find Jeff, see how he's doing. And if anything's going on there, I'll turn the camera back on. If not, I'll see you back at the house. Back at the house, and yeah, we'll say it's the next day, even though it's a couple. All right, well, I got that gold all cleaned up, so let's jump over the scale and see how we did. Standard procedure, everything that went through the 50 mesh, we didn't bother with. All right, let's weigh our heaviest piece. 0.40, that's not bad. All right. Looks like we ended up with 2.26 grams. Well, I'm really liking this. Hopefully, we're going to stay in the 2 gram rut. Now, that spot we were at has definitely got more gold. We're going to go back, but the river's got to drop. And the good thing is we've already done the panning, because I think where I tried to dig more out, I've knocked the gold down, but I got rid of the gravel. So once that dries out to where we can scoop the gravel out, I think we're going to have a couple of really good pans out of there. And then I do want to do more of the reading in the river, and once the river drops, we can get out into the channel more. We can talk more about bedrock and just different things on reading the river. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to head up to the high country. Let's go up and take a look at a hydraulic pit or two and see if we can find a few nuggets. Sounds like fun to me. All right, well, that's all I got on this one. So I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.